Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. I will be debuting as Cryptic. That'll be the handle I go by on YouTube. In today's video, I am going to be doing a reaction slash review to a new TV show called Paradise City that debuted on Amazon Prime the other day, March 25th. Paradise City is a spin-off of a movie released back in 2017 called American Satan. American Satan is a retelling of Faust. It's about a rock band that moves out to Hollywood, tries to make it big and get a record contract. They end up meeting the devil in the flesh, and they sell their souls and they get what they want in return. And the rest of the movie is about the lead singer trying to redeem himself after selling his soul. So it's a retelling of Faust. In fact, the main character is played by the lead singer of Black Veil Brides, Andy Biersack. He plays Johnny Faust. The name of his band is The Relentless. The movie also stars Asking Alexandria guitarist Ben Bruce as one of the guitarists of The Relentless. Boo Boo Stewart from Twilight fame plays the other guitarist. Jesse Sullivan plays their bass player. I forget who plays the bass player's name is Lily Mayflower. That's who Jesse Sullivan plays in American Satan. And then I forgot who plays the drummer Dylan. Okay, the movie also stars Denise Richards as Mrs. Faust, Johnny's mother. Malcolm McDowell plays the devil, who we refer to as Mr. Capricorn. That's the name the devil goes by in American Satan. There's also a porn star named Tori Black, who plays a recurring character named Cassandra. Bill Goldberg plays the touring manager of The Relentless. The band manager of The Relentless is played by some dude from Game of Thrones. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know who that guy is. Who else is in it? I guess the guy that plays the Archangel Gabriel in American Satan, I guess he's a pretty famous actor too. I don't know who he is. Let's see. I guess that's really all I need to cover as far as the cast in American Satan for now. In Paradise City, there's a few change-ups. The Archangel Gabriel is played by a different character or different actor. Jesse Sullivan does not play Lily Mayflower in Paradise City. Lily is being played by Bella Thorne. Okay, so there's a really important scene in American Satan where an 18-year-old young lady and her mother sneak onto the Relentless's tour bus while they're playing in Vegas, and it's the 18-year-old daughter's dream to lose her virginity to Johnny, and she does. He takes it, and he tried to resist at first, but she was really persistent, and so she wore him down. They start going at it. Next thing you know, his hesitancy is gone. He's all in, and then Lily comes and joins the party. Now it's a Three's Company type of scenario. And her mother ended up hooking up with Dylan, the drummer of The Relentless. And then the next day, the mother got into a fight with her husband about it, and he put a gun in his mouth and pulled the trigger, killed himself. And Johnny felt really guilty about it. Like, he took it really hard. He was like, oh man, that young girl, like, she doesn't have a father because of me. Well, in Paradise City, okay, and there are major spoilers in these videos that I'm going to be doing. Okay, major spoilers. In Paradise City, that character and her mother are a huge part of the story. A huge part. They're in every episode. All right, so I'm gonna, before I start to review the episode and tell you what happened and provide spoilers and all that, I'm gonna give you the disclaimer that yes, there will be spoilers. You should already know how you feel about that, so do what you gotta do. If you gotta shut this off, by all means, please do. All right, with that being out of the way, let's get into it. So, the pilot episode, episode 1, is called Don't Let the Name Fool You. The interesting thing about all 8 episodes is that the title of every episode is a quote from that very episode. The reason why episode 1 is called "Don't Let the Name Fool You," you can go to Sumerian Records' official YouTube channel and you can watch the trailer for the series, and you're gonna see a young lady holding a baby, and she's sitting at a bus stop next to a black guy, and he says, "Welcome to Los Angeles, the city of angels. Don't let the name fool you." So that guy is the Archangel Gabriel, and he has a lot of different appearances throughout the series, just like he did, played by that other actor in American Satan. And this time around, he's really watching out for the Virgin from American Satan. In the movie credits for American Satan, she was just called the Virgin. She didn't have a name, neither did her mother. In Paradise City, the Virgin, her name is Vivian, and she's played by a different actress. In Paradise City, she's played by Amanda Steele. She was someone different in American Satan, and her mother is named Lizzie, and Lizzie is now being played by, I forgot her first name. It starts with an F. It's a complicated name, and her last name is Balk. She's most famous for playing Nancy in The Craft, or Vicky Valancourt in The Waterboy, and she's a really good actress. She just seems to nail every role she plays, and she does a great job here too. Let me take a drink real quick, and I'm gonna start to review this episode. Okay, so the movie starts out, or I'm sorry, the episode 1, "Don't Let the Names Fool You," starts off, and they're setting the tone. Ooh, let me back up. Okay, a few weeks ago, Andy put out a video on his own channel, and he said that he doesn't necessarily feel that you have to see the movie before watching the TV series, and I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with that, because so much of the story in Paradise City is a consequence of the things that happened in American Satan. So if you haven't seen American Satan, you're gonna have a lot of questions, because they don't really spend a whole lot of time giving you full context and background for why what's happening now is happening now. Like I explained the situation about, like, the Virgin and her mother sneaking onto the Relentless's tour bus and all that. They don't really provide that context in Paradise City. So and if you watch Paradise City all the way through, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of questions, like, why are Gretchen and Johnny going to relationship counseling? What happened between Johnny and Lily? So I highly encourage you to watch American Satan before watching this show, Paradise City. All right, so when it starts off with the band coming out of a club, and they're swarmed by fans, they're swarmed by the paparazzi, and the Relentless members, minus Johnny, start signing autographs and answering questions to the press, and they ask, when are the Relentless going to get back together and play shows and tour and put out new music? And Leo says, it's going to have to happen soon, because we're kind of running out of money here. Then you hear something on the radio, and they're giving the rundown on the Relentless and what's going on with them, and they explained that they haven't played any shows in about a year and a half, since the singer was going through his trials, because Johnny ended up in prison at the end of American Satan, and his lawyer died under mysterious circumstances. That gets mentioned, and it never gets dealt with or mentioned ever again. And then so the next scene, we see Johnny and Gretchen at home, living in a different house than the house that they lived in American Satan. In Paradise City, he has a hot tub on his roof, so him and Gretchen are in the hot tub, and Gretchen is encouraging Johnny to get back to work. And her argument is, you need to get back to work because this is the only way that you support yourself. And our bank account is running low. Our bills are piling up. Your mother needs money, and your brother is out on the street. Okay, so that was a curveball. Like, I didn't see that one coming. In American Satan, you had no reason to believe that Johnny had any siblings. He was raised by a single mother, and there was no mention of any other siblings. So now they throw that curveball in there. Your brother is out on the streets, and he tells her, "Don't bring up my brother." And I'm sitting there like, "No, please tell us more about this brother that he has all of a sudden." And she also mentioned how your mother needs money. So, and I'm sitting there saying like, well, this is a different house than the house that you lived in American Satan. So I just had to do some independent thinking and connect the dots myself and assume that Mrs. Faust is living in the house from American Satan, and him and Gretchen got their own place. All right. So Johnny ends up making an announcement that the Relentless are going to do a show, and they decided to make it special and do a small club as opposed to an arena to make this show more special because it's a comeback. And he's giving an interview to Hit Parader, and Hit Parader asked him what's his biggest regret, and he talked about taking that young lady's virginity on the tour bus because her father killed himself and he feels responsible for that. Meanwhile, that young lady is at home with her mother watching that interview on TV, and she's nursing a baby. Johnny got her pregnant, and she had his baby. So the mother Lizzie starts to convince the daughter Vivian that, hey, your father's dead. He didn't leave us anything. He had no life insurance. Our bank account only has $1,300. You need to let Johnny know about this baby so he can support the baby. And the baby's name is Faith, and which is really interesting and kind of ironic, and a really cool Easter egg in the series. All right, so Vivian decides to show up to LA the night that the Relentless do their gig at their comeback gig at the Roxy, and she shows up with her baby in her arms. After the gig is over, everybody leaves the venue. Johnny and Gretchen are the last to leave their venue, and Gretchen and Johnny are holding hands. Gretchen gets into the limo. Johnny's about to get into the limo behind her, and he looks across the street, and on the sidewalk he sees Vivian holding a baby, and he sees her, she sees him, and he knows who she is, and he knows what she's holding, and he's thinking to himself, oh no, I did not see this coming, and I'm not wanting this to come into my life right now, because him and Gretchen have been doing really well since they got back together, and he's doing everything in his power to stay good with Gretchen because she's the love of his life. She's his whole world. Everything he does for her. So yeah, that was episode 1, and I talked to you about some of the inconsistencies and some of the cast changes and all that. So I guess that's really all I have to say for now. There's another channel, I'll link to it below. There's some chick out there. She has a YouTube channel, and I guess she's a fan, and she did a reaction to this episode, but she actually shows scenes from the episode in her videos. And so if you should go watch hers if you want to know more. Like, if you don't have Amazon Prime, if you haven't seen it yet but you want to know more, you should like watch hers and watch mine. I give more context, more description, and hers like has more helpful visuals. So yeah, that's all I got to say. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know below what you think, if you've seen the movie and seen the TV series, or if you know, you're just a fan or whatever. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Cryptic Lovegood. Horns up. Peace out.